Hey, BookTube. Thought I'd come at you with a new reading report plus a handful of books, used books I recently picked up. After my last reading of Putin's People, which I found to be a very heavy book to read, I thought I'd take a fictional break, which I haven't done in a while. And perusing the aisles at the local library, I stumbled on The Big Bundle by Max Allan Collins. I haven't read Collins before, but I'm familiar with him largely through YouTube channel called Serial at Midnight, hosted by Heath. It's a great channel if you have any interest in particularly films, but he does cover other forms of media and such. You should check it out. I really enjoyed their conversations together, and when I saw this, it was a no-brainer. Um, So I just largely just grabbed this because I saw Max's name and this lovely cover art by Paul Mann here, which appears to be inspired by Robert McGinnis, this classic artist here. I'm sure you've seen a lot of his work. So I didn't realize that this is actually a fictionalized account based on a real life kidnapping of Bobby Greenlease, who was a little boy of a well-to-do auto salesman, and this is going back in the 50s. So this is a fictionalized account of that, but you do have some real-life personalities in here, and in the notes after the book, Max points out, who was a combination character and such like that. But you do have some, real mafia types and a little bit of Jimmy Hoffa and Robert Kennedy. And of course, real life death of Bobby Greenlease. The book is kind of broken up in two ways. First, we have the initial kidnapping and our private detective Nathan Heller's memoirs on that, and the second half dealing with what happened to the ransom money, or at least half of the ransom money, which was about $300,000. Big bucks now, real big bucks then. So yeah, there's a very distinct, at least to me, difference in those two halves. I did find the first part to move very quickly, and then the second seemed to stumble a bit. But that may just be me. The second half coincided with a bunch of real life horrible news events, including murders, with what happened in Australia, Rob Reiner and his wife, and then the further killing of boats at sea by our government and stuff like that. And it just kind of threw me because it was a lot all at once. And then reading about murder and murderers and following up on that, it just kind of like shook me a bit. So maybe the book flow's fine, but it did seem to pick up a bit more for me, like towards the end. Overall, I really enjoyed reading this book. I definitely want to pick up more by Max. Again, this is one of his Nathan Heller books. Apparently, there's quite a bit of those. And I'll see what I can get. Very much enjoyed reading it. And next, I think I'll keep on the fiction train a bit. I also picked up Agatha Christie's, and then there were none. This seems to be it'll be a pretty quick read for me. And after that, I'd like to get back to some nonfiction where I tend to seem to be more comfortable. One that I do want to read is Enshittification by Cory Doctorow. I was glad in this one because I actually dealt with Enshittification yesterday. I was gifted a HP smart printer, which really wasn't all that fucking smart. And I have installed many printers in my life and never had a problem, but suddenly I am dealing with a smart one that I need to create an account for and all this, and then I had to figure out a way outside of the account, and it was over an hour and a half of setting up a stupid printer scanner thing that has only ever taken me about 10 minutes. So, enshittification indeed. Outside of that, the missus and I went to Half Price Books again, and I picked up Berlin Game by Len Deaton. I haven't read, I'm familiar with the author, but I haven't read any books by him, and I really dig in some Cold War era type stuff. Speaking of, at my local thrift, I came across this book of all things, Khrushchev Remembers, one of his memoirs, the last memoir by him, if I am correct. This is, I think, came out in 1974. Big old brick here. There's Khrushchev in the back. So, Khrushchev was the premier of the Soviet Union on the way back. Second printing. Anyway, I don't know how this got to my local thrift. They generally only get the most mainstream junk, so getting something like this is like, wow. And this was a whopping 50 cents. Pretty sure I saved it from being thrown out. And at half price, I picked up Anthony Trollope's Dr. Thorne. This is my first Trollope novel outside of the readings I've enjoyed by Steve Donahue, who turned me on to Anthony Trollope. And I was skimming through, they had a handful of his books. Trollope wrote a lot. They only had a handful at the half price, but I don't know, something about this really grabbed me. Looking forward to that. And I got this book called Game Change. And this is based on the 2008, run up to the 2008 election, and came out in 2010. And skimming through this, it was just skimming through, it is amazing how different the political climate has changed in that time. It is almost like another world. So, looking forward to checking this out, comparing it with the nonsense that things have turned into. And the only other thing I picked up, I'm not sure if I discussed this in a previous video or not, but on Hamilton Book, I came across the Penguin Guide to the United States Constitution. This is an annotated edition, and this was marked down to $5. So basically, you get a little bit of history there with your history. So for $5, I know you can get these basic documents for free, but I think the annotations will help out there. Definitely a good buy for that price. So I guess that's it. Sorry, I thought I had another one here. Appreciate you listening.